Yes, mate. Welcome to my full day of eating video. I had a lot of requests to film this, and guess what, mate? If you guys want to see something and you're asking me to film it, then obviously I'm gonna get it filmed, mate. So I'm gonna overlay on the screen right now my progress with my cut from November last year until yesterday. And this isn't like, oh, look at me, I've made some mad progress and you guys should eat the exact same foods that I do because you want to achieve the same progress. That's not at all what I'm trying to achieve by showing you these comparisons, mate. It's more so just I've been eating this kind of way, these styles of foods over the last 4 or 5 months, and these are the results it's shown and given me. I definitely think there's a lot of value to be taken from this video and you can implement a lot of it into your own life. But you have to remember that your lifestyle is different to mine, your daily expenditure is different to mine, your metabolic rate is different to mine. In fact, every single one of you is different to each other. So yeah, this isn't a video to tell you how to find your maintenance calories and all of that sort of stuff. You guys can easily find that out online. So don't take what I'm about to tell you as gospel, mate. Right, decent. So I also want to keep this super relaxed and like chilled out. I'm going to keep it raw, mate. I also wanted to mix it up a little bit, and I thought, well, we're all stuck in our houses at the moment. I'm stuck in my house at the moment, and how can I make this video different to my previous videos, maybe more engaging, and ultimately what really is important with this video is the foods that I'm eating. I also decided to include pretty much a daily routine and what I do on a daily basis on a weekday, because you guys don't always see that. So like when I'm actually working, and I'm obviously working from home at the moment, so there's loads of value to be taken from this video, and I'm actually quite excited to edit it. I'm quite excited to put it together, and I've got an idea in my head of how I want it to look, and I'm hoping I can create it, mate. Okay, so this was yesterday, so super recent. Today is Thursday, and this video will be going out on Friday tomorrow. I'm currently not following like a specific meal plan. I do if it fits your macros, or I just track my macros on MyFitnessPal. Highly recommend using this app. The free version is all you need. You don't need to pay for it, and I've literally been using it since I was about 15. I used to, before MyFitnessPal was launched, I used to write down all my macros on a notebook, and I used to get a calculator and calculate it all, which is madness. So then they released MyFitnessPal, and I was like, this has literally changed the game. Why couldn't I think of this? But yeah, anyways, imagine if I created MyFitnessPal. This whole different story. Probably be sat on a golden chair, mate. No, I'm joking. Right, so I'm currently, and I have been eating 2,400 calories on a weekday, and then on weekends I allow myself to eat more. Now in the past, when I've sort of been going harsher into the cut, the only difference is across the week is how much I allow myself to eat on weekends. So it's always 2,400 calories. Sometimes in the past weekends I've kept it the same, or I've only bumped them up a little bit. We'll go into that potentially a little bit more later, but right now and for the past sort of 4 or 5 weeks, I've been maintaining my body weight, and I'm trying to sort of do a bit of a body recomposition. And the way that I'm sort of doing that is I'm ensuring that I'm in a weekly average. So my weekly calories are my maintenance as opposed to like my daily. So yeah, this is the kind of stuff that I was eating throughout my whole cut, and even now, mate. Jeez. So 2,400 calories, around 160 to 165 grams of protein, 275 to 300 grams of carbs, and 50 to 60 grams of fat. Now, you've probably already noticed, I have got notes here. The reasons why I have notes is I'm not superhuman. I'm not trying to impress anyone with my memory. I wanted to take time with this video and actually put a lot of effort into it. And notes is just going to help me remind myself in what to say so I can provide the most value for you guys. I don't miss anything out. And literally just like with all of my GCSEs and A-levels, like I brought in notes to cheat because I couldn't just rely on my memory. So obviously if it's going to aid the video, or if it's aided me in the past, if it's helped me, I'm obviously going to do it. So if you've got a problem with me having notes here, then one, tough shit. Little do you know that every single YouTuber uses notes. And two, if it actually does bother you, then you should probably reevaluate your life. Right, starting off, yesterday I actually woke up at 6:30, so that's slightly later than normal. I'm normally up at 5. The reason why I woke up at 6:30 is because the night before I was actually in a bit of a flow and I was up really late, and I normally go to sleep at 9, but I was getting loads of stuff done, ended up going to sleep at about 11, and for me sleep is paramount. Like, sleep comes first above everything. So regardless of how much I love to get up early in the morning and how much I like to be up at 5 a.m, if for whatever reason the night before I'm not able to get to sleep at a certain time, then I will happily wake up at 6:37 if it means I'm getting my 8 hours sleep. So yeah, so I woke up at 6:30, I make my bed, that's the first thing I do in the morning. Don't think I filmed that. I wash my face with cold water. Cold water is key. Like, I let the tap run until it gets proper cold. I want to work towards having cold showers. I just can't fucking do it. Like, I can't do it yet. I'm having like one a week, and even that is like, get legit anxiety. Obviously I feel good after it, but just, I'm not at that point now where I can have a cold shower every morning. So yeah, I just splash my face with cold water, and I find that that wakes me up as well, and it's better than doing nothing. That's what I'd say. Okay, cool. So this next part is key. Do it every single morning, and it's a massive part of my day and setting me up right. So I read and I have a coffee, and that coffee is with milk. I'm not having yohimbine at the moment, so I was using yohimbine for pretty much most of my cut, and the coffee I would have no milk in it. It would just be a black coffee. But now that I'm not having yohimbine, I just want to take a bit of a break off it. It's not good to take heavy stims all the time. I will have milk in my morning coffee. I track the milk, and yeah, that's the other thing, is like, I literally track everything apart from the can of Monster that I drink every single day. So I have my coffee, I read, I have not done anything at this point, like in terms of looking at my laptop, looking at my phone. I'll go into that in a second, but literally we'll just go downstairs, I'll make my coffee, I'll get my book, and I'll read for probably about half an hour. So the calories I'll put on the screen as like we're going along. You guys, I filmed all of the clips yesterday, so I'll be overlaying a lot of stuff. Makes it more visually entertaining, and I just thought this would be the best way to film this video. So yeah, I don't check my phone at all. Like, social media is toxic as fuck, and I really don't like it. Like, I do and I don't like it, but I will absolutely not ever wake up and check my phone. Like, that will not be the first thing I'll do, and you should not do it either. Like, I can't even explain. I think I'm going to make a video in the future. After I've done my reading, I will go for my morning walk, and I'll listen to music, I'll listen to an audiobook, I'll do a bit of both, or maybe if it's like a Monday's usually my new music day, and I try to find a lot of new music on Spotify, so I might not listen to my audiobook. I think on this day I actually listened to my latest SoundCloud mix, which is a competition entry. So yeah, check me out on SoundCloud if you don't, but if you don't already. But that's what I did on this walk. Love walking, think walking's so sick. Like, I don't do any direct forms of cardio, but I walk about 15,000 steps a day. And it's crazy because, yes, okay, arguably I walk because it's obviously good in terms of steps and just overall fitness, but at the same time, I walk because I love it, and I love listening to music. I love being outside. I think it's just fucking sick, especially in the mornings at the moment with the sun sets. It just sets me up for the day like unreal. So that's all sort of before 9 a.m. I usually get home from my walk at about 9:15. I obviously start work at 9. I did yesterday, I will let myself then, so all throughout the walk, no checking the phone in terms of social media. When I come back from the walk, I'll give myself 10 minutes, right, to check DMs on Instagram, to check YouTube comments, like replying to all of them, to check my website if any orders have come in, and to also check the Facebook group, and if any posts need approving, and I'll comment on some of the Facebook posts, etc. And that's it. I won't look through my feed, I won't look through other people's stories, mainly because I don't give a shit, like, in the nicest way possible. I don't really care about what people have been doing in the morning. Well, no one's normally awake for me, but I don't really care about what people have been doing the night before. Not at that point in time in the morning. It's not going to add any value to my life. It's not going to change anything that I'm going to do for the day moving forward, and there's no point in it, basically. I've got a lot of time for all of my mates, but what they're doing doesn't concern me, and I'm sort of focusing on myself. So As we get later on into the day, I become, well, as you'll see, I allow myself to use Instagram a little bit more. But yeah, not in the morning. So then I start work at 9 in the morning and I have a tea. I'm going to start working towards cutting out my caffeine. So I'm actually going to start by buying a decaf coffee and having a decaf tea. And I'll still have my Monster. So just remembered I was going to drink during this video. It is going to be a longer one, but at the same time, the people who are interested in this would rather me go into detail than me just trade water. I don't know what the saying is over it. Pussyfoot is another way of saying it, I think. So if you're not interested, then obviously you probably wouldn't even watch the video in the first place, which is absolutely fine. So yeah, have my tea at 9 AM and then have my first meal of the day at about 10:30 or 11. Now, it's quite a significant meal to a certain extent. It's about, well, I've got all of the calories written down here. So the milk in the morning was 125 calories, 12 grams of carbs, 4.5 grams of fat and 9 grams of protein. This next meal is oats. I have my oats with water. I used to have it with protein powder as well, but I'd now rather just eat my protein, if that makes sense. I can still get it in without protein powder. So yeah, I have oats. I add sweetener to it. Another point, my coffee this morning, I know it looked like sugar, but it was sweetener, so you'll see me use that again later on. So oats with sweetener, some dark cocoa, you know what I mean, powder. It's like chocolate powder basically, if you're a bit of a retard and didn't know what cacao powder is. I then add fruit to it, so bananas, frozen fruit, and I eat this every single morning. This meal doesn't change. The only thing that changes with this meal is the frozen fruit that I use. It might rotate, so I use frozen raspberries on this occasion, and on other occasions I'll use mixed berries. I might use frozen bananas and strawberries. I might just full send some melon. Probably won't use melon, but you get the point. The other thing that I'll do is I sometimes have a variety and mix up the kind of chocolate that I top with it. So yesterday I had chocolate Easter egg because I got loads in the fucking sale the other day. But this morning I had, you probably saw it in the background, I had one of those Reese's chocolate eggs on top. It all just depends on what I'm feeling, what I want, and I make adjustments across the day basically to cater for what I decide to do with my sort of morning porridge. This meal sorts me right out. It properly fills me up, and yeah, I just really like it. Everything I eat, I really like eating. That's a big key thing when you're cutting. Eat foods that you enjoy, because you've got to look forward to them, and it just helps a lot more. If I hated what I ate for breakfast, that'd be so shit. Why would you do that? I don't understand. So yeah, I used to fast actually until 2:30. I used to have this meal after I trained, but I basically just found that I train better, because I train at lunch now, 1 o'clock. I train better if I have this meal before. So yeah, no more fasting until 2:30. I fast until, I don't know, 10:30. It still fast for 14 hours, so it's pretty decent. Okay, so I have that meal, and then I have my creatine, 5 grams every single day. Don't measure it, I just kind of full send it into my mouth. And I have 1 fish oil. I usually have a multivitamin as well. We've got some downstairs, don't have any in the room. I think I forgot yesterday. I probably will have more supplements in the future, more health related supplements, vitamin D's and all that sort of shit. But right now, can't justify spending money on it, so I don't have any. Okay, decent. So moving on to the next part of my day, 12 o'clock, I packaged up orders for the Mr. Ravenface brand. Got sweatshirts. All of the bucket hats are now sold out, which is fucking madness, but I've still got maybe 7 sweatshirts in stock. So that's pretty naughty. If you want to see what sizes I've got left, then just go to my website, mravenface.co.uk, and you'll see which ones are available on there. Honestly, the feedback I've had on these is next level. They're so nice, and I knew that people would like them, but it's nice to hear that people appreciate them as much as I do. So yeah, I packaged up my orders. I made some notes on my board. My board looks slightly different now. I might go into that in the next video, but yeah, I just noted down something in my head that I wanted to get done. I think it relates to ordering some of these necklaces, because I've had a lot of people asking about them. And I make my pre-workout. So yeah, pre-workout at the moment is a can of Monster and usually a third of a scoop of Moe's non-stim pre-workout. But I think, I don't know, I might stop using the non-stim pre-workout for a little bit as well, even though it hasn't got caffeine and stuff in it. I'm either going to do one or the other, because I kind of know that it reduces the effect of like having a non-stim pre-workout. If you take it with like stims, they like do opposite things. I do it anyways, fucking stupid now to be fair, but gonna try to work towards just having one or the other. Okay, safe. So I then walked to the post office. It was actually shut, but fuck it, I went for a walk. It was like a 20-minute walk in total, and then sat on a bench and I drank my pre-workout, my Monster. I posted a story on Instagram. It was to do with like my progression on YouTube with subscribers over the last year. I'll put on the screen now like a screenshot of something that I wrote on my notes, just to do with like how I'm feeling about my progress. And yeah, pause it on that if you're interested in reading it and my mindset towards it. Basically just explains if I'm happy with how things are moving and my mindset towards how you should approach YouTube in general / progression in life, I guess. I guess what I wrote could be applicable to pretty much anything. Okay, decent. So then I trained. I did a squat, deadlifts, floor press, and some squats yesterday. So I filmed some of the deadlifts. You'll be watching them right now. And yeah, it was a pretty naughty session. I'm having a rest day today, so my calories don't change on a rest day, purely because instead of training, I go for like a long walk. So my Mac, they're nice pictures. I go for a long walk, so like my expenditure is pretty much the same. Decent. Okay, so I then chilled out in the garden. I checked some emails for work. It was really sunny, so that was like really nice to just relax. I was listening to, during my training session, and then finished it off afterwards, I was listening to Joe Delaney's podcast, his YouTube video about confidence. It was like an hour-long Q&A. I then had my next meal of the day, which is a ham salad, and I always have a salad for this meal. The only thing that changes with it is like the type of protein. So sometimes it's a tuna salad, sometimes ham, sometimes chicken, sometimes like beef mince. But it's always like a salad, and in terms of what I put into it, I guess I will just like rotate through whatever like kind of salady bits I decided to buy. So the one that I had yesterday is pretty standard, like tomato, cucumber. I don't know if I put, I had pepper yesterday. It's just a naughty salad, so have that with that like low fat, lower than fucking lower fat mayo, which probably tastes like shit unless you are deep into a cut, but I think it tastes alright. And some salad dressing that's from like Aldi, and it's like low fat. So all of these things, please don't ask me where to buy them, because like I've shown you them on the screen on purpose and you can like Google them, but for the sake of covering my own back as well, everything can be bought from Aldi or Sainsbury's, so just fucking go to Aldi or Sainsbury's. Right, decent. So yeah, ham salad, very naughty. 429 calories, 32 grams of carbs, 14 grams of fat, and 45 grams of protein. Very naughty. Right, so I had that at 3 o'clock. Then carried on doing my work, ate my salad, then moved on to 5 o'clock. I did some mixing in the garden. It was such a sick day, and I was like, you know what, screw it. I want to do some mixing anyways. I've seen like people mixing outside, and I thought I'm going to move my setup outside, mate, and do some mixing in the garden. And I streamed it live on Facebook. The mixing was not amazing, but that's fine. I was just like, sometimes it just takes a while to get into a flow. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. I work towards a day when I'm always fucking there, mate. But yeah, right now, or yesterday, it was intermittent on my skill level of mixing. But it's fine, because I'm pretty sure yesterday there was only like 3 people watching. So shout out to you 3 people. Probably Ben, Tony, and probably that was it. Right, decent. So yeah, I actually had a Corona, so that's like not normal. Well, like having a beer on a weekend is pretty normal, but yesterday I was just feeling it. So I did track it. So that was 148 calories, 14 grams of carbs, and 1 gram of protein, which is fine. Like having a beer is fine. It's not going to hinder your progress. I'm not a competitive bodybuilder, so it doesn't really fucking matter. I just drink what I want, when I want, and when I want to have it. I track it, and I fucking live my life, mate. Anyway, so I adjusted my final meal of the day to like cater for that, so I'll go into that. So I then kind of, I guess I wait a little bit, but I have my final meal of the day at 8 o'clock, and this is my biggest meal of the day. I like to have, I don't know why, it's probably like not optimal, but I like to have my biggest meal of the day before I go to sleep, because then I'm not going to sleep fucking hungry. I do usually have it like about an hour and a half out of going to sleep, so 8 o'clock was a bit late. I actually went to sleep at 10, I woke up at 6 this morning. So that was fine. That was 2 hours sort of out from going to sleep, or hour and a half by the time I'd eaten it. And this meal is pretty much always the same. I had some like lettuce with some mince and some like barbecue. It's actually really nice. I just fucking love the taste of mince. So I usually have mince, but sometimes we'll have like lamb mince and I'll just drain the fat. Sometimes I'll have it with chicken. Like, it's the same sort of thing, but it's always like a salady kind of meal. You'll notice that I'm not having any like pasta and rice at the moment. Personal preference. I have pasta and rice usually on weekends and like when I'm bulking or trying to like push in more food. But I'd rather have like less dense sort of carby foods, especially like for my lunch and stuff. I just feel a bit lethargic after sort of eating heavy meals. So the oats in the morning's fine and it gives me decent energy for when I train. But yeah, I just like salads and stuff. I'm not a big, when I'm cutting, I'm not a big rice or pasta fan. Okay, so then I have yogurt with this meal. Just like a full tub of like 0% fat Greek yogurt, six macros, loads of protein. Add some of that sugar / sweetener to it. It's the reason why I say it's sugar / sweetener. It's called Sugarly. It's like granulated sweetener. It's fucking sick. It's also about £3.50 a tub, so don't get it unless you want to be broke, but it's kind of worth it. My dad buys it, so I'm just fucking like, shout out to you, Dad, for always buying the Sugarly because I can't afford that shit. But yeah, it's legit. So yeah, have some yogurt. I add Cocoa Pops to my yogurt. Sometimes it's a different cereal. At the moment it's Cocoa Pops. Yeah, sometimes it's like honey fucking hoops, mate. I'll have whatever I'm feeling, and I have some grapes with this. Track it all, and then basically rice cakes is like my final. I have this all together because I just like to eat it all together. But rice cakes is the kind of meal that I adjust depending on what I've eaten across the day. So I'll take from this meal or I'll give to it. So yesterday, I believe I had 3 rice cakes with peanut butter and jam. If I didn't have the Corona, I probably would have had 4 or 5 rice cakes. If I had more chocolate with my oats in the morning, and I didn't have the Corona, then I probably still would have had 3 rice cakes. If you know what I mean, I think you should do that. Like, I think you should have your final meal of the day as something that you can just fucking adjust. Like, it's got zero reduced sugar jam, it's got rice cakes, and it's got peanut butter. I can adjust those, like, as long as you've hit your protein, I can adjust the quantities of each of those to basically mean that I hit my macros, like, almost bang on. And if I wanted to put myself into more of a deficit, then, like, in this instance, I could fucking eat exactly the same thing, take out the Corona, and you're looking at 150 calorie deficit. You could literally eat this and make mad progress. I don't know what your, like, calories and shit are, but yeah, basically, had that as my final meal. It was naughty. I watched some more YouTube. Watched, yeah, Joe Delaney's, like, had another video. Fuck it. I was like, I'll send that video. It was pretty good. I rate his physique. Yeah, I always rate what he has to say, basically. I think that's pretty much it in terms of food. Like, that was it in terms of food. I probably relevant to say I have a lot of water throughout the day. I probably rinse. This is 500 ml. I probably have 4 litres of water a day. So I probably drink 8 of these a day. Probably a bit much, but it's definitely 3 to 4 litres, so 6 to 8 of those a day, and that helps with hunger. And it's just, you should just drink fucking shitloads of water. You should just drink fucking shitloads of water, mate, because water is very good for you. And then yeah, that's pretty much the end of my day. So I only watch one YouTube video, and I watch that whilst I eat. I will then also use that time, like, whilst I'm watching this YouTube video, to like look on Instagram and stuff. So it's weird because you guys might think that I'm really active on Instagram by like seeing my stories, because I post loads of stories. The reason why I post those stories is because I feel like I can add value to other people's lives with my stories. But I just kind of like post it and I come off it, if that makes sense. So even though I'm posting loads, I'm not always just like fucking tapping away on my phone. Yeah, so I allow this time in the evening, sort of like whilst I'm watching that YouTube video, is when I'll maybe watch some stories and look at some posts and all of that sort of stuff. Only about 20 minutes, then finish my YouTube video and I'll read sort of up until I feel tired or like I want to go to sleep. And yeah, I don't like to watch like YouTube until I go to sleep. It's not good for you, mate. Turn the light in the room down a little bit and start to unwind. Sometimes do a bit of stretching. I stretched this morning. I think I missed that out, but yeah, so basically that is pretty much what a day looks like for me during the week and what I eat. And I'm eating the exact same thing today with some like slight variations, but on the whole, you get the idea, mate. So it's pretty healthy, like oats, salads, and the sort of stuff you'd expect someone to eat if they're in a cut. But yeah, like I still like to get like yogurt and that sort of stuff in. It's just personally foods that I like to enjoy eating. So in total, we ended up on 2,401 calories, 164 protein, 288 carb, and 58 fat, or 57.5 fat. So that's literally fucking banging. Like I said, 160 to 165 protein, we got 164. I said 275 to 300 carb, we got 288. And I said 50 to 60 fat, and we got 58. I massively respect everyone who's watched this video up until now, because this marks the half an hour point pretty much. That's fucking madness. I've definitely waffled on way more than I would have liked to. I need to get better at being like short and concise. We have got more time to sit down and watch YouTube videos, so I feel like you might have been able to take a decent amount of value from this. I know a lot of you lads, like girls, lads, whatever. And to be fair, you don't even have to be a lad to like follow these sort of same principles, but yeah, a lot of lads are like still cutting, and I think festivals probably will go ahead in like August, September, so I still think you should be making an effort to get a fucking sick physique, mate, for summer and festivals, etc. Even if they don't happen until September, October, like still do it, like it's still good for you, and it's just good to clean up your diet in general. So that's what I eat. I aim for 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, roughly, as a minimum. And then, yeah, then I basically do 50 to 60 grams of fat, and I make up the rest in carbs. I will do a separate full day of eating video for like a weekend. Weekends are a bit weird because I don't really track. So whilst I kind of mentally know that my calories are up to around 3,800, I'm not 100% certain. So I just kind of eat whatever the fuck I'm feeling, and I just use it as a break from tracking as well. So it's hard. I might film it, but it won't be the same in terms of me being able to give you like my calories and macros, because I don't track it and I don't really want to track it. Like the whole point for me is to have a couple of days a week where I just like don't think about it. I don't obsess with it, if you know what I mean. It's quite important, I feel like. So get it out of my system. I walk 15 to 20,000 steps a day. Usually on weekends it's more around 20,000 steps, and that's pretty much it from me, mate. I've been getting some big love on the videos recently, and people have been watching, even though I've not been able to like leave the house, and they're still saying to me that they're enjoying the quarantine videos, which is fucking sick, and it means a lot to me. So yeah, genuinely like appreciate you all, and hope you've enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one, mate. Of course I'll see you in the next one, mate. I love it. Yes, mate.